folks. The time is 6:30 p.m. The regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freedom for January 20th, 2026 is now called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting pursuant to provisions of Chapter 231 of the laws of 1975, the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of the time, date, and location of this meeting has been provided by posting a copy of the public meeting dates on the municipal bulletin board, by sending a copy to the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger, and by filing a copy with the municipal clerk. I'd like to ask everyone, please stand for a salute to the flag, followed by a moment of silence. Chief Cavalier, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Kane.
Here.
Councilman Benedetto.
Here.
Councilman Friedman.
Here.
Councilwoman Jordan.
Here.
Councilman Reich.
Here.
Councilwoman Rogers.
Here.
Councilwoman Schutzer.
Here.
Okay. Item 4 this evening is a resolution of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold honoring New Jersey Teacher of the Year for 2025-2026, Jillian Ober. And in case you didn't hear that, again, New Jersey Teacher of the Year, the entire state. So I'd like to ask Councilwoman Sharon Schutzer if you please read this resolution into the record for us. Thank you. Jillian, come on up, please.
What an honor. And we couldn't make the print any smaller. So please bear with this old woman as I try to read. Resolution of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold honoring New Jersey's Teacher of the Year 2025-2026, Jillian Ober. Whereas Jillian Ober was named New Jersey's Teacher of the Year by the State Department of Education, and whereas Jillian Ober holds a bachelor's degree from Boston University, a master's degree in teaching from Monmouth University, and a master's in curriculum and instruction from Western Governors University. And whereas Jillian Ober teaches 7th grade English as a second language, ESL, at Freehold Intermediate School, working closely with students new to the community or students with interrupted education, making it her mission to ensure that every multilingual learner is seen, heard, and celebrated for the brilliance they bring with them. And whereas Jillian, Ober's educational philosophy is shaped by global teaching experiences in Thailand and Spain, where she developed a profound appreciation for culture, identity, and student voice. She integrates project-based learning, technology, virtual reality experiences, and arts-based storytelling to make learning meaningful and accessible, centering students' language and cultures as drivers of academic success. And whereas Jillian Ober also teaches at Monmouth University and Georgian Court University, preparing future educators to work effectively with multilingual learners, emphasizing language acquisition theory, culturally responsible pedagogy, and the power of asset-based teaching, contributing to multiple academic publications. And whereas Jillian Ober believes all teachers are experts in their fields and encourages her coworkers and fellow educators to see themselves as scholars. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold extend their deep appreciation to Jillian Ober for her dedication to the students of Freehold Borough. Be it further resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold congratulates Jillian Ober and wish her continued success in her teaching career. Yes. We know, Jillian, what this means. It also means that Jillian is recognized statewide, that she represents the finest group of teachers ever, those in Freehold Borough, correct? Yes. Correct. It means that she got a car. It means that she has a sabbatical leave to travel around the state. It means that she is respected and loved by many. But my guess would be that Jillian won this award from the state because she does not think that any of that is as valuable as it is when she looks into the face of a child whose eyes say to her, "Thank you for caring. Thank you for making me feel safe. Thank you for touching my heart, for seeing my worth." Because Jillian teaches those marginalized kids who may come to school each day fearful, who may come to school each day hungry, who may come to school each day questioning his or her worth. That, my friends, is why this lady, this extraordinary woman, human being, won this award. And this is why we, as a town, as a community of caring individuals, as a council, appreciate everything that this woman has done and continues to do for our students, for our kids, our precious kids. I want to, we all know that behind every successful person there are people who have loved and encouraged and held dinners and done everything. So Jillian's family is here, her mother and father. Please stand, her family. Additionally, you know, somebody had to hire this lady, and we have many members of our Board of Education here tonight, and they do have a meeting, so we have to hurry, but I would like for our Board of Education members to stand. We thank you, and for all that you do, by the way. And do we have any other educators from the school district here? Please, please stand. our superintendent of schools. We also have, and we also have a couple of members of our educational foundation with us, which do wonderful, amazing things to support our educational community. So Jean Holtz, Len Reich, and am I missing anybody? So, once again, on behalf of mayor and council, and not only as a former teacher myself, but as a parent, a grandparent, a human being, I want to say that we are so proud of you, but most importantly, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for what you're doing. Could we get her?
Yeah, I do real quick, just on behalf of all the residents in town, just want to thank you. We are extremely proud of you, but I'd like to give you a couple minutes to talk a little bit. I know teachers have no problem talking in front of the room, so if you'd like to say a few words, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, this is just, it continues to be such an honor. I officially started my sabbatical, and it's just hitting the ground running. I'm so excited to have this bigger platform that I can talk about the things we're doing for Hillsborough, the struggles that we might have in the classroom, the things that our students are facing. I have a responsibility. I have this platform. I want to try and use it as much as I can to just amplify voices of people who might not ever get that chance to do it, might not have that microphone. So it's just been incredible so far. I'm working at the Department of Education. I'm trying to get my hands on some exciting projects to hopefully change some things for the better for our students, especially our multilingual learners. But it's not lost on me. Freel Burrows made me the teacher that I am. I traveled around the world to 26 countries. I had no idea what I wanted to be or do, and I found teaching, but I knew I wanted to come back here. Freel Burrow, when I was applying for teaching jobs, I had a couple offers, and I said, I want to work here. These are the kids that I want to work with. I want to make a difference. So this is just incredible. It means so much. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
How great is that? New Jersey Teacher of the Year. One more round of applause. Yeah, and you're free to leave. You don't have to stay.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much for
Thank you.
coming. Congratulations.
You got me to cry last time. You almost got me this time. Thank you so much, everybody.
Congratulations.
Have a great evening.
Thank you so much. Okay, item 5 this evening is a workshop discussion, the expansion of downtown Freel Special Improvement District, the city boundaries. I'd like to turn this over to Council President Freeman, please.
Thank you, Mayor. For years, the partnership has discussed, right now that on South Street, the boundaries end at McLean Street. And there's been discussion for years to extend it down to Institute Street so we could add holiday lights on South Street. The map that was put together has some properties on Conover that probably should not be added. So we're going to send this back to get rewritten, but the concept here is we're going to be able to, we've already purchased the light, so once we add this section to the district, we're going to get J.C. Gill to put the transformers or the little boxes on. And then we could add decorations down Main Street, or down South Street to Institute. So that's the plan. from McLean Street, where the deli is, down to where, the Ellis Law Center is. It's essentially these properties here, the church doesn't pay tax, so while they're included, it doesn't affect, it didn't pay the levy, so.
Thank you.
So that's it.
Any questions from council?
Is it the businesses on either side of the street as well? Like, it's not just the street line itself, it's the businesses will also become part of the SID?
The properties abutting South Street down to Institute, yes.
Okay. But only the business, the commercial property is not, that's just, there's a couple residential in that, aren't there?
If it is a rental residential, then that's a for-making,
Right.
that's a for.
No, I mean strictly,
Resident, owner occupied residential properties are not assessed in the SID levy.
thanks.
Any other questions?
Jeff, it's basically to put lights up?
Yeah.
That's the reasoning for doing this?
Yeah, cause it kinda, you kinda get out of that, that, it would be nice if coming up past the school, we start to get a little
Have you
vibrant.
talked to those few businesses there,
Yeah, spoken to a number of them.
and they're okay with this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are ones that would be opposed, but yes. A couple of them are already donating to the organization as it is, and would like holiday lights near their properties.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thanks. Item 6, the administrator's report, we're just gonna move that to our next meeting. Item 7 is the approval of minutes, council meeting December 15th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Abstain.
Okay, the minutes of council meeting December 15th, 2025 are approved. Item 8 is the first reading and introduction, ordinance 2026/1, amending chapter 10.32.100, towing and storage fee schedule of the Code of the Borough of Fairfield, establishing standard for fees and towing.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes, this adds a towing rate for light duty tow rates to light duty tow trucks. The rest of the section is mainly unchanged.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2026/1 is introduced. Item 9 is the first reading and introduction ordinance 2026/2, amending and fixing and determining salaries of certain officers, positions, and employees of the Borough of Freehold. Would like to move this?
I'll offer that.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, before anybody gets on the internet and starts saying anything at all, there is absolutely not one penny increase, for any of us. Not for years and not in this season. Just wanted to clear that up before it became an issue.
Any further discussion?
Yes, I discussed this with the mayor and our business administrator, maybe in the future looking into our fire department employees, not basically employees, but volunteers. I think that it's high time that they get a little bit increase in the pay that the chiefs get. It's been many, many years that none of the chiefs can remember the last time that they got an increase. But they do spend money out of their own pocket to go to certain events outside of town. And I think it's time for them to have a little bit of a raise. I will discuss it with the finance committee moving forward.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes,
The ordinance 2026/2 is introduced. Item 10 is our consent agenda. Just a note that matters listed on the items of consent agenda are required to conduct the day-to-day operations of the borough and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There'll be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired of any items, that will be considered separately. Would someone like to move consent agenda items CR1 through CR14?
I like to move it.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Reich.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schuster.
Yes.
Okay, our consent agenda items CR one through CR 14 are adopted. That's the end of our consent agenda. Item 11 is the approval of bills.
I'd like to make a motion that we pay our bills.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto.
Yes.
Friedman.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Reich.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schuster.
Yes.
Okay, our bill list for this evening's meeting is approved. Item 12, our public comments. If anyone from the public would care to make a comment to the governing body, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. Any takers?
Yes,
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Yami. I am a resident of Freehold Borough and Deputy Director of the Latino Coalition of New Jersey. Earlier this month, the New Jersey Legislature passed a package of immigrant trust bills designed to strengthen public safety by building trust between immigrant communities and government. Governor Murphy chose to sign only one of those bills, the Safety Communities Act, and to leave two critical protections unsigned. However, the Immigrant Trust Directive is still in place, which makes local leadership not optional, but essential. The bill that was signed is meaningful. The Safe Communities Act protects sensitive locations such as schools, hospitals, courthouses, and places of worship, ensuring people can seek medical care, attend school, practice their faith, or appear in court without fear of immigration enforcement. That protection matters, and it should be fully supported. But the work is not finished. Two bills were not signed. One would guarantee clear privacy protections, limiting when personal information, like immigration status, can be collected or shared by government agencies. The other would have permanently codified New Jersey's Immigrant Trust Directive into law, ensuring that local police are never used as extensions of federal immigration enforcement. Because those bills were not enacted, immigrant families remain uncertain, policies can change, privacy is still fragile, and fear still exists. That is where Freehold Borough must lead. And this issue is not abstract from Freehold Borough. It is happening here. In recent weeks, members of our Zapotec indigenous community have been affected by ICE activity, including a 22-year-old lawful permanent resident who has lived in Freehold since the age of 2. Incidents like this have left many families living in fear, afraid to drive, afraid to call the police, and afraid to leave their homes. I'm sorry. As community members and advocates, it is painful and deeply frustrating to watch this fear grow while feeling helpless, knowing that without clear local action, very little changes. This town is a majority immigrant community. Immigrants here own businesses, pay taxes, raise families, and contribute to our economy and civic life every single day. Even those without legal status contribute through rent, sell taxes, and payroll deductions. They are not guests. They are our neighbors. They are Freehold Borough. Public safety depends on trust. police, report crimes, or cooperate as witnesses. When fear silences victims, dangerous people remain free, and everyone pays the price. The Immigrant Trust Directive exists because it works. It protects public safety by making clear that local enforcement is here to serve the community, not to enforce federal immigration law. The Safe Communities Act reinforces the principle. But without local ordinance or resolution, those protections can feel abstract, distant, and uncertain to the people who need them the most. That is why I urge this council to make clear affirmative action. Passing a local ordinance or resolution is not symbolic. It is practical. It sends an unmistakable message that Freehold Borough complies with law, supports its intent, and stands firmly behind the safety of all its residents. This is not about politics. This is about safety, stability, and trust. This is about ensuring that every resident of Freehold Borough, regardless of where they were born, knows that seeking help will never put their families at risk. You have the opportunity tonight to provide clarity, reassurance, and leadership. I respectfully urge you to do so. Thank you for your time.
My name is Kathy Eckhart. I live at Fort Cottage Place here in Freeport. I'm going to read you a testimonial on behalf of Dolly Medina because she couldn't be here tonight. Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Dolly Hernandez Medina and I am Executive Director of Casa Freehold. Now that's not me, but I'm speaking on her behalf. We have been a part of the Freehold community for over 20 years. We have seen a growth of immigrant families coming to seek a better life. We teach new families English, help with a food pantry, help with taxes, and provide resources to help families adapt to their new environment. Today I'd like to share some insights into the current landscape of immigration in New Jersey. As many of you know, our state is home to a vibrant tapestry of cultures and communities, with immigrants playing a crucial role in our workforce and economy. Recent data shows that approximately 1/5, 21.5%, are Hispanic Latino, 15.3% are Black, and 1/10 are Asian. 1 in 4 New Jerseyans was born abroad, highlighting the significant presence of both documented and undocumented individuals among us. However, this landscape is not without its challenges. Recent changes in immigration policies have created uncertainty for many families and individuals seeking a better life. In New Jersey, we have seen in the past couple of weeks the Immigrant Trust Package, which has sparked conversations about how we can better support our immigrant communities. It's essential to recognize the contributions that immigrants make, not just economically, but also culturally, enriching our communities with diversity and innovation. Organizations across the state are working tirelessly to provide legal assistance, social services, and community support, but they cannot do it alone. I urge each of you to consider how you can engage with and support these initiatives, whether it's volunteering your time, advocating for fair policies, or simply educating yourself and others about the realities of immigration. Each action counts. Thank you for taking the time to understand this important issue. Together we can foster a more inclusive and supportive environment for everyone living in New Jersey. That's from Ms. Medina. And now I would like to say a little something on behalf of myself. I would like to speak to you tonight as a resident, a volunteer, but most importantly as a neighbor, part of this Freehold Borough community. We are living in very turbulent times. There is much anxiety.
financial, healthcare, individual rights, global peace, and then for our community itself, its very existence. It is compromised of such a diversity of people, customs, cultures, foods, and religions, all trying to live their best life, make a living, support a family, and raise a family. Because I feel that governing bodies should be concerned for the welfare of all of the residents, I am certain that you are aware of the increased ICE activity in this community recently. I would like to know what actions will be or are being taken to ensure that due process is afforded to all and laws are being followed. Since agents do wear masks to protect their identities, how can residents be certain that they are who they say they are? There have been instances of people posing as agents and law enforcement, most recently reported in Raritan Township, as well as Pittsburgh. Can a person who feels threatened by masked people who refuse to identify themselves or to provide them with any documentation, are they able to call the police, the local police, ask for assistance, and will the local police respond? In some locations, citizens have been detained for exercising First Amendment rights. I am hoping that the council, mayor, and police department can work together to ensure the First Amendment rights of residents of Freehold are not violated. We see in Minneapolis that sometimes the police are not responding to events. Citizens have also been detained despite telling agents that they are citizens. This has occurred in Minneapolis during protests, but also outside of protests. I would like to know and hope that there will be an action plan on the part of the governing bodies in Freehold as to how these situations would be handled to protect all of the residents in our community. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Eileen, and my family have owned small local businesses in this community for over 20 years. And I'm speaking today not just for my family who are business owners, but for other business owners and families who are struggling right now. Over the past several months, but especially around the holidays, our community has experienced increased fear due to the persecution and kidnapping of members of our very own community. ICE presence has been very heavy and hard, with individuals who contribute to our community and society being taken off the street, and many while on their way to work. Local businesses rely on foot traffic and trust, and when fear spreads, families, customers, friends, employees stop visiting local businesses due to the lack of safety. Families who depend on their small businesses and families who depend on going to work daily are being put at risk, both with their own personal safety and financial security. This is not just a matter of community and livelihood, but about human rights and the actions that Freehold Borough will take to secure the overall welfare of every single individual who lives, works, and visits this community. It's honestly really scary to see history repeat itself before our very own eyes. We as a community are asking for clear safety protocols to limit ICE presence, ensure safety of those who are merely going to work, who are merely living. We also ask for visible support to small businesses who are doing their very best under these difficult circumstances. At the end of the day, everyone will feel the effects that this fear and persecution are leaving behind. The actions that are taking next are important, and we must all acknowledge what's happening and work towards a solution to ensure safety of every single community member and continue to serve this community responsibly. Although my statement is short today, I do hope that you consider the effects that it has had on us as small businesses, and thank you for listening.
I'm sorry, for the record, what was your full name and address?
Eileen Jimenez, and I'm here for 22 Broadway Street.
what's the address?
22 Throckmorton Street.
Throckmorton? That's where you live?
That's the business.
Millie's.
Millie's.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sephora Rosette, and I only live in 27 North Street. I don't have the script with me, but I was so inspired by how everybody was speaking, them was speaking from the heart, especially as a student. I used to go to Freehold Intermediate School and Middle School, but then I was accepted in the Humanities program at Howell High School, so I go there now. But all my friends go to the Freehold School, and I remember every day I would crave to come back to Freehold after Howell, because as much as I love Howell, it's not the same here. Freehold has so much diversity and so much freedom of speech and so many good kids that I interact with. I remember in middle school, especially like my Hispanic kids, they used to teach me Spanish curse words, and I used to laugh. They used to bring in snacks all the time in school, and it was just so fun. We used to stand around 7-Eleven, making the workers' lives crazy. But that's just who was our group, and it was just a great time. And I used to always wish to come every single time coming back from Howell. I would meet them by 7-Eleven, and we would just hang out and do what we do. And it sickens me that my classmates, I consider them still my classmates, have to be afraid to go to school every day. They're afraid that they will come back home and their mom and dad won't be home anymore. I know one of my friends was telling me how their little brother, he was getting bullied in the Freehold Intermediate School, and one of the little kids had told him that something had happened, that they were gonna call ICE on them. And I think that goes to show that these people's kids, they're repeating after what their parents say. They're repeating after what their parents say, and the hurtful things, and they're passing that rhetoric onto your children. And I know, as the Black community, we've had to deal with similar things back in 2020. We had to deal with the same thing. So I know as a Black girl how hard it is to come to school and be afraid about what kids are gonna say to you, and the hateful slurs, and the threats, and everything they'll say to you. But I think the Hispanic community that welcomed me with open arms when I was coming into Freehold, because I moved from New York. It was a complete culture shock. I went from a completely Black school to a completely Latino school. But they welcomed me with open arms. And even when I got made fun of when I was in Freehold by the small majority of the mean kids there, they always stuck by me. And they taught me how to curse them out in Spanish. And they always stood up for me. And now I want to stand up for them, because I know how difficult it is. My parents are immigrants too. They came from Haiti. And I know how hard it is to adjust to a place. But I know Freehold is so welcoming and has so many opportunities. And I thank them so much for that, for helping my family and helping so many other families too. And I know that Freehold is better than that. I know we have so many caring people here. And I know that you guys won't let this happen. I know you won't. And I hope you don't. Because these students, as the future generation, we ask you to do the change that we need you to do so that your kids can keep coming to school and keep getting an education so they can learn how to protect us, to learn how to make these laws, to learn how to defend, to learn how to serve, and to learn how to protect. And to learn how to be kind to one another. I went to Ms. Rogers the other day because I was planning a book drive to specify about diversity and inclusion in Howell. And I can tell you how many kids' faces light up when they see themselves in those picture books, when they see that diversity, when they see that inclusion within those books. Did you know that you are more likely to see an animal or some inanimate object in a picture book than the whole POC community combined? You are more likely to see an animal main character than a Hispanic, Black, Asian person in a picture book. That was my initiative, and I want to bring it to Freehold. I want to make sure that kids are represented in their literature, because when kids read, they're introduced to different stories and different perspectives. And that way, that little boy that was told to go back to his country, or that they're gonna call ICE on them, that he knows that he doesn't need to listen to them. And he doesn't have to listen to them. Because when he opens those books and when he sees those stories, he sees himself and he sees a future. But that's just in a figurative world. What we need you to do is bring it into the literal world. We need you to fight for our students, and we need to fight for your kids too. And to teach them empathy and compassion. And that goes for everybody here. If you have kids, know what they're saying. Talk to them about those issues. Don't be afraid to. Because you're just secluding them. You're not helping them by not telling them what's going on. Don't shelter your kids. Because I see that enough at Howell. I know kids back there, they don't know what's going on. They're not being woke or anything. They're just keeping it real. And I need you guys to do that as parents, as adults. Thank you.
Good evening, Chris Collier, Chief of Police. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Mr. Gallo, Mayor and Council, for the hiring of our 31st officer, the appointment tonight. Giovanni Lopez, who will be joining our department in March. The hiring of the 31st officer, and hopefully down the road our 32nd, will help strengthen our department so we can better serve our community. I'd like to let everybody know that since 2018, the Freehold Borough Police Department has followed the Immigrant Trust Directive without issue. Anybody who would like to see the Immigrant Trust Directive can go on the Attorney General's website and full read the directive. You can find it right on the page of the Attorney General Office's webpage. I understand fear in the community, but fueling fear by way of misinformation is unacceptable. This past Friday, misinformation spread around our community about ICE agents going to the schools. It was irresponsibility on every level. Attracting people to the school property was wrong. We have to do better. The schools and the police department can handle any activity that might negatively impact the students, staff. Let us do our job. It is said, when I did some fact finding, where this information started. The subject line. But when I confront people, everybody wants to use a disclaimer. I didn't mean it. Think once before you speak. Think twice before you hit send. It's unacceptable. On a regular basis, I communicate with the county prosecutor and the chief of the prosecutor's office. And we talk about ICE activity in our communities. And when I have a concern, I will address it with the prosecutor. We have seen no deviation in the activity from ICE. They haven't gone to school. They're not going to churches. And when we have a concern, we'll address it with that. But please, misinformation on social media fuels fear. When we talk about kids being scared, they're gonna take what they read as fact. I ask everybody in this room, just when you see it, stop it. Be the bigger person. Because there's nothing worse than when people spread misinformation and don't speak on fact. Thank you.
There's a
Is that allowed?
We live on Shavira Avenue, by the way.
Yeah. So we're taxpaying residents, of this town for the past 18 years. We love our town. We love the schools, our kids go to the schools. We support this administration publicly and in the voting booth. We are happy to pay our fair share. We bring to you the issue of tax assessment in our town, in our corner of the borough specifically. What we have observed from our own property assessment and the public records of assessments in our corner of town, that's Meade, Douglas, Shavira, Runyon, there might be another one in there.
Boulevard, yeah.
Is that there has been an almost 30% spike in land assessments across the board. Almost 34%. Inflating the value of 98% of the homes by $146,900. Exactly. I'm talking about from house to house. So from our point of view, this kind of seems like a mistake, right? We cannot speak for all of our neighbors, but our home is now assessed at $766,000, $600,000. That is more than $750,000. We already pay upwards of $12K for our little corner of the borough. We love our home, but there's no way that if we sold tomorrow that we would get that amount of money for our house.
Same for me.
So we
We're
just,
kind of looking for answers.
yeah, we just want to bring this to your attention, that the amount just seems egregious and it's just across the board. And,
And everything's public record, so, not naming names, not pointing fingers, but there are gorgeous houses on Broad Street and we are assessed higher. And it just doesn't, it's pretty black and white, doesn't make much sense. And, I feel, of course we put our appeal in, but I just feel like maybe there's a mistake here. And we're just looking for somebody, we're looking to you guys, because we don't really know who to go to. The assessor was really nice. I mean, all the questions that I had for him, he answered. But, he gave us some of the comps that were used on Brinkerhoff, and the houses around Brinkerhoff haven't gone up like our neighborhood.
Some of them aren't even comparable to ours.
Right, exactly. So it's, I don't know, we're kind of at a loss, so we're coming to you just to bring this to your attention and hopefully to get just a little attention, and some answers. We're doing what we can do, but, in the end, if they say, you're out of luck, our assessment just went up $50,000 last year. So it's, we're feeling kind of choked out here a little bit.
They're pricing us out of our houses.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Sure.
So I'm the borough attorney. So the way it works in New Jersey is the values are set by statute, not by the local governing body. It's set by the assessor, and they do a statewide statute, which basically dictates how he does it. It's based on fair market value, and it's adjusted based upon the market. So it's good that you file an appeal, because if you disagree, there's two ways to do it. You can file a county appeal, or you can take it to the Superior Court level. But I did speak with the assessor, because I've heard that there was some issues, that's the way to put it. And he would have liked to have been here tonight, but he had another meeting. But he did indicate that you could speak with him. But the mayor and council don't have jurisdiction to do anything about it. It has to come from the assessor, and that's by statute. It's good that they hear it, but I just wanted to manage expectations. They can't tell him what to do or how to do it. It's got to come from him.
who is his oversight?
His oversight is, basically, he's appointed to it. So his, it goes to the county board, but he's the tax assessor. So essentially, he's the person in charge of it.
He works without oversight.
Well, it's by statute, so he's dictated, ultimately by the statute, which tells him how to act, and his oversight is the county board of taxation, or ultimately a judge. So there are rights to appeal, and it's good that you did, and he did say you can talk to him about it, and all these concerns you would address with him.
So when we come to the
appeal, the in-person appeal, who is that? It's not the, actually, it's
I
not.
can't, I can't hear you.
Yeah, come on,
Sorry.
Just state your name also, please.
Denise Felicio.
So if there's appeal, it's a county board.
So we come here for the appeals when we get the.
No, you go to the county.
It's,
Yeah.
We,
Oh, I came here 2 years ago. I had my appointment here, I'm pretty sure it was here. No. No, I'm sorry.
It might have been here to
Excuse me.
be
It was
the
the,
taxes.
it was the county clerk, right, in that
Yeah.
office. Okay, I'm sorry, apologies.
so it's basically, the county, has jurisdiction over that, not the local governing body. It's a countywide method that they use to appeal, that they use to assess the properties, and at the appeal, you can challenge that. And he will discuss it with you before you get there, because a lot of times it ends up being settled. I don't know if you're handling it on your own or through an attorney, but if you go onto the county website, there's a way, you put in your comps and your reasoning as to why you think the assessment is wrong. And then they can somehow, through this website, make you an offer, or you can actually initiate the offer. You say, this is what I think it should be and why, and they might agree with you, and then you never have to go to.
Yeah, that's all part of the appeal. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Can I add something here? My name's Jean Bijan. I live at 63 Broad Street, here in Freehold. I've been here for 26 and a half years. I've been helping these guys out because I'm also a local realtor. I've been selling real estate for 20 years. I know all these guys and pretty much know everybody in this room, probably. And to what everybody else said, I just want to speak to the diversity of this community. That is why I chose this community 27 years ago. That's why my kids had a wonderful experience here, just like you. And so I can totally relate to what you're talking about. We don't want to be priced out of this community. And I know that tax assessor is not appointed by anybody here, by council.
They do appoint the tax assessor.
Oh,
but
you
he
do
doesn't
appoint the
answer.
tax assessor, but he doesn't answer to you.
Reports to the county.
He reports to the county. Okay, well, that's interesting. So the tax assessor is appointed by you guys, but he reports to the county. I think we're all very clear on the appeals process. I've worked with these guys and some other people in town on helping them file their appeals, reading through the stacks of directions and paperwork, so go here, go there, and go to this site, and then you've got to cross-reference it with the non-use codes, which I'm sure I don't know, but hopefully you're all aware of these non-use codes. I think I found some issues with those too. But I think what we're more concerned about is a systemic issue here. The fact that anybody's value, assessed value, can go up by up to, I think in your case, you guys were 24% last year or this year or last year, and you were at 34% or 33.5% or something like that. That's an astronomical amount. And I know you guys don't want the appeals because that costs you. And it costs a little bit of goodwill from us too, because, we got to file, if you're worth over, I think, $500,000?
Almost 6.
You have to pay $100 to file an appeal.
Oh, yeah.
So as opposed to, the only answer we keep getting is, file appeal, file appeal, file an appeal. But because what's happening in this specific neighborhood, the Runyon, Mead, Shavira, Douglas Boulevard neighborhood, Annie and I together ran all the numbers for those 106 taxable residences, not counting those apartments. We didn't do the apartments, right? We ran those numbers, and 104 out of 106 homes had their land value go up by what John previously mentioned, $146,900. Now that's kind of a random number, but why would, that's like a high 90 percentile of homes went up by this specific number, and that's why we kind of want to address this, not as, we'll just go appeal it, go appeal it, go appeal it. Well, you got 104 people, 104 households in that neighborhood who now have to appeal what seems to be, as Andy said, it does seem to be an error.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mr. Chairman, by way of explanation, one of the characteristics of this particular neighborhood is that the lots are almost identical in size.
There are actually a lot of lots that are different in size.
I looked at most of them today. They're basically 60 by 100, 60 by 140.
No, like is smaller
Yeah.
than yours. My friend's over on Boulevard.
Sure, but there is a homogeneity to the housing stock all appears to be from the same time period, and it appears as if the lots are very similar in size.
And I
I'll
have
take
to
a second look,
No,
but,
I
yeah.
can, I've got the stats in my
Sure.
folder over here. I looked at them. They're not all the same size. There's not as much homogeneity as I think you think there is.
Okay, that was my
We looked at
impression.
every single property in that neighborhood, but the fact too that, why would their land assessments go up by $146,900? 104 out of 106, that's a huge percentage.
Yeah.
Huge percentage, and the other two that didn't quite go up that much, they almost went up that much. They went up by 139,600, which is like a $7,200 difference, so I don't know. But we just think it's odd that there was such consistency in the increase of the land value for these 104 homes, because they're not as homogeneous as you might think.
They're buildable lots, I mean, and they meet the standard as a
Yeah, but
buildable lot.
146,000 in 1 year, well, let's round it up.
That's a different argument, okay? The assessment, the number, only the assessor can speak to that. But they are buildable lots in a neighborhood, and
But
that's,
to go up in 1 year by $146,000.
again, that's a question for the assessor. The reason for that amount,
Well, you guys appointed him,
Yeah.
and we appreciate any conversations you can have on our behalf as you represent us. So please,
Because this is
help us out.
directly working against you guys, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you can make as many arguments for, you know, the extra ratables and the paid parking and this and that, but when we're seeing thousands of dollars in tax increases over these crazy assessment
Which
increases.
we don't know necessarily what the
No,
tax increase
of
will be, of
course,
course,
of
because we
course.
don't know what the rate is yet, because the budget hasn't been set, and also you have to go through the appeals process to see where you land with your actual, you know, your final landing spot with evaluations. But it's scaring the heck out of a lot of people in town. And a lot of people are thinking, yeah, I know, trust me, I know where you guys live. This is all public record. I can look up anybody's property, but it's all on Mon County website. Is there anything that can be done to the process? I know there's been a lot of talk online, Jeff, you chimed in, sorry about that. I actually have you, let me print this out. From your blurb about the ADP program, the assessment demonstration program, where it's, you know, the annual revaluation. But the funny thing is I'm looking through this tonight before coming here and highlighting it. The program began in tax year 2014 and aimed to ensure that property assessments accurately reflect aims to ensure that property assessments accurately reflect 100% of current market value annually. We do not agree with that. Thereby reducing costly appeals, costly to you, costly to us. And what's costly to us, of course, is once again costly to you. And tax shock from infrequent large revaluations. Okay, so maybe these are frequent large revaluations. But you gotta admit, a $150,000 jump in 1 year, 33.5%, 24% in 1 year, that is a shock. So I would say, and Kevin, I know we spoke, you know, privately about this, that there's a lawsuit underway against this ADP program. Are we involved in that lawsuit as a town? Because why not? Help us.
I don't know that it would necessarily help you. Okay, I can tell you that I lived in Bayonne for many years. We had a revaluation in 1990, and then we didn't have another one again for 30 years. So when we revaled, my taxes went down significantly. They went from, yeah, oh yeah, because in a revaluation, 1/3 go down, 1/3 go up, and 1/3 generally stay the same.
Well, lucky me, I'm
So-
part of the third that stayed generally the same, don't kill me.
Understood, yeah. But as I'm thinking about this, I'm saying, this is great, my taxes went down. And then I said to myself, my taxes should have gone down 10 years ago. But because we didn't have a frequent revaluation, the market value was not reflected in the assessment. So the objective of the assessment demonstration project, and most people don't recall, but when they did this project, they actually did 2 assessment demonstration projects. One here in Monmouth County where they had frequent revaluations so that the valuation accurately reflected the value of the home, and we can discuss whether or not it does, but that was the objective. And then there was another demonstration project in Gloucester County where they went to county assessing. They got rid of all the local assessors, and only one person assessed the entire county. The objective was they were supposed to do these pilot programs for a while and then figure out which one was better and roll it out statewide. Well, that never happened, okay? And the whole thing's in limbo right now. Now, as the mayor mentioned to you this afternoon, there is a lawsuit, okay? To be honest with you, I don't really like spending money on lawyers, especially if someone else is going to do it. But we'll see what the result is, and then we'll be able to react accordingly.
But meanwhile, we're left with the burden of proof as each individual property owner, each one of these guys, and I can guarantee you, there are people in that neighborhood who don't feel like they have the power to fight this because a lot of people have fought their tax assessments before and they've lost. And it's a very disheartening thing to do, especially because you guys are the pros, the assessors are the pros, you know, they know all the little angles, they know all the terminology. We're poring over these documents. I'm a freaking real estate, and this is hard for me. We're poring over these documents and cross-referencing and highlighting and everything. But the fact of the matter is now we're stuck with burden of proof, each individual, to fight an exorbitant revaluation, which is exactly what this ADP program was designed to avoid.
Yeah. And I think that the problem is not the ADP program. That's my personal opinion and not necessarily the opinion of the council.
Well, is it a problem with the assessor?
What I will tell you, no, it's not a problem with the assessor either. It's a problem with the irrational exuberance in the real estate market. Okay?
Well, I can't argue with irrational exuberance in the real estate market. However, I can argue with the comps that were pulled for these guys because they make no sense. There's no way in hell. I love you guys, love your house.
Sure.
It is, excuse my mild person.
Yeah. But that's
But anyway, there's no way in hell. The
Right.
house would sell for $766 tomorrow.
okay. Well, that's the basis for an appeal.
$595. Love you. Have a great time over there. Not selling $595.
Yeah.
Where are they coming up with these
So,
comps? Who pulls the comps?
The lawsuit I referenced when we
Yeah.
spoke this afternoon is 5 or 6 towns were never in the ADP program in Multnomah County. They're fighting to stay out of it. County's trying to force them in, and there's a legal situation going on. So
Oh, so
That's the
they're not even in it trying to get out,
As
they're
the
fighting to
as the
stay out.
As the administrator mentioned, everybody is watching to see what happens with this lawsuit, and then they'll go from there to figure out what are the best options.
So there's really, so we have no other recourse than to individually, every single property owner has to go to bat for themselves against the system. That's the only way we can.
Jeannie, we heard the issues that you've raised, okay? The mayor and I discussed it today, the attorney and I discussed it today, and we will be having a discussion with the assessor. The understanding should be, though, that we cannot influence what he does. There's no politics involved in this. He does it on a professional basis, and he has to report to the county Board of Taxation.
No, I know he doesn't personally come in and check out all these properties. I know they have enough.
We
they
do.
outsource that.
There is a company that does that,
Right,
yes.
they outsource it. I know. I
Yep.
talked to the guy who's out of Asbury Park or something
Sure,
like that.
sure.
So I had to do a virtual tour.
And a lot of people don't let him in, and then they're surprised, you know?
Well, I know, but they just show up willy-nilly whenever, so.
No,
we
you make an
don't do
appointment.
research. Nobody made an appointment with me. I just got a card in the mail that said,
It generally says call and make an appointment.
well, I did a virtual. but,
Okay.
well, you know, they used to knock on your door. So is it maybe something with the outsourced company? Is that something the assessor can do? Who chooses the company that this is out, the actual activity is outsourced to?
It's a contractor that we go out to get proposals
All
on.
right, so you guys choose the company.
Can I just say something here? So, I've done some research on this, and I think one of the major issues with the assessment process in general is we have single-family homes owned by families, and we have single-family homes that are owned by commercial entities.
Right.
A commercial entity can deduct all repair costs, has depreciation, has all these tax advantages that make the value of a property in their minds more valuable.
I've seen some things sell
Right.
over what I would consider
I mean,
market
we
value
see it all the
between
time.
investors, yes.
And just from a practical standpoint, and I don't know how you fix it, but comparing a property that is a
An investment.
income-producing investment versus a property that a family is living in
Right.
is not a fair comparison.
I
And the question is,
like that notion.
how do you address an issue like that? We all see property values, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. Nobody was complaining about the assessment demonstration program, right?
I didn't even know about it until.
Because it wasn't negatively affecting any of us,
So I'm not really
because property
saying-
values were stable. And then we come into COVID, and everyone leaves New York to come down to the country to get out of the city. And property values double in a year and a half. And they've gone up another 40% over the last.
Well, that's actually not right. If you go from the beginning of COVID to today, I think Kevin's, Mayor Kane is more on the market, more like 6%, 7%. Like I just take my own house, for example, it's up maybe 75% high market, but it's
So-
not double plus 40. Not that.
You understand that?
I,
And some houses have that. I mean, not all houses, but some properties,
some of them have.
And I think that is really where this is killing. Those two factors is what's killing all of us. The question is, how do we fix it? And if, did some more research. If we leave the demonstration program, then our assessments are locked in where they are today at these values. Now, we might not get assessed going forward higher, but then when does the county do their next evaluation, their next 10-year evaluation?
Yeah.
They don't want to do it. They're forcing everyone into this to avoid having to do it. So now, next year, the market peaks, property values start to go down. What situation are we in then?
Let me ask a quick question.
What situation are we in then?
Do property taxes ever go down? Do our valuations ever go down? When the market was tanking between 2005 to 2006 to 2008, everybody wants to say 2008, I'm sorry, it's 2006 to 2012. It finally bottomed out in 2012. Did anybody who lives in this town, who has lived in this town during that time, did your property taxes ever go down? Did your valuations ever go down? Mine never went down. That's something we all know for a fact. When prices go down and they drop, they fell, they kaboom to the floor. Between 2006 to 2012. Let me tell you, because I was in real estate back then, and it was rough. It was rough. Nobody's valuations went down. So I think that's a moot point of an argument. I have to disagree with that.
Right. Let me jump in. So I talked to the assessor also, and if you see me after the meeting, I will give you his personal number.
Oh, we have it. Personal number and
He
email.
said call him
He
anytime.
just doesn't mail your taxes, but we're looking at a systemic problem.
Well, and that's what we have to figure out. I
Yeah,
mean,
this
the
isn't
way
just
the
about
ADP program is designed to work, it's total reassessment on an annual basis. Everybody gets reassessed. And then 20% of the properties get inspected each year. So within a 5-year period, all the homes in town are inspected to verify those assessments. And the idea is with the annual assessment, it's supposed to be closer to actual market value. That's the issue that we're trying to figure out. There's a legal situation going on. There's all kinds of sides on this ADP program, and we're trying to see how we can fix it. But we understand, we're working on it. All of us are working on it, but our assessor asked to please call him, and he can maybe explain how they do. Maybe he can explain the formula to you.
I would love that, because
good.
where did you come up with 146.9 on 104 out of 106?
He told me for you to call him this afternoon, so call
Yeah, I
him
didn't have
tomorrow.
a chance.
Call him tomorrow and then call me and then we'll see how you make out. All right?
Sure.
That'll
But-
move
We might
on.
try to set up a meeting for it.
Mayor, if I could just make one final point, and that is Jeff Rain raised what is perhaps the seminal issue of our time, and that is the ability of corporations to buy single-family homes. Now, that has been discussed. I know Vice President Harris was talking about legislation if she were to be elected. They are talking about it in Washington, but we have a new governor, and we should talk to Senator Gopal about that as well, because it really is a problem. And it's part of that irrational exuberance that we
Actually,
talked about.
there was a bank of 3 houses that sold on the very same day. They
Yep.
all come up as selling for $760,000
Yeah.
on May 6th. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
I know who bought
And
them.
that's the
I
problem.
know you do. I
That's
know you
what's
do.
causing that.
It's
That's
between two investors. They used one of those that should have been labeled as a non-use code.
Well, that's something we have to have a
It's not labeled
conversation
as a
about.
non-use code, and it was used as a comp for her house, and I think.
And that's
That's
exactly
not
the
fair.
reason, that's exactly the crux of the issue.
And that's an,
All 3 of them sold for
Is that
$760.
they're
One was a small
depreciating-
house on Stokes, one was a previous rental on Broadway, not selling for $760 on Broadway, but it sold between these 2 investors.
sure.
The exact
They're
same.
playing games.
Yep, playing games, and we knew it because
understand
one.
that, Jeannie.
Yeah.
We're not arguing with you.
Right.
Oh, please, Gene, make sure when you leave, and residents as well, you understand, we don't want anyone to be inaccurately assessed. We want everyone to be assessed at their true market value, okay? And we don't want corporations, we don't want corporations buying up single-family homes in town either. Now, how do we get there?
I don't know, see, this is gonna be, how government prevents LLCs or corporations from buying single-family homes. I honestly, that's gonna be a very,
Sure.
I don't know how that happens. But it is very clear to me that we should not be comparing rental for-profit properties
Sure.
in the assessment process for single-family homes. That is something that I think can be much easily addressed. You just simply say, and this is obviously the county's gotta be on board with this because this is their program. But the county's gotta have some sort of rule in this program saying, single-family houses are against, residential, owner-occupied single-family houses are assessed against.
That has to be chumped up to the state level.
Well, something's got.
And that's a conversation to have.
Yeah, comparing
If
it to
their houses
investment.
were only being assessed against other owner-occupied single-family houses, I don't think we'd be having this dramatic of issue.
We might still be having a little bit of it, but
We would have
there's also
an
assessment.
issue, but not as dramatic.
It's part of the picture.
Call in and let us know how you make it out.
And if there's anything we can do process-wise, like maybe put a cap on how much somebody's property value can go up every year, that's just a thought. I don't know.
I don't know that we have the authority to do that
Well,
locally.
that's why I'm bringing it up. Do we, don't we, let's ask them questions?
Well, and we'll have a conversation with our legislators.
Call in tomorrow and see if you can get the form.
And just for the record, my property, by my own estimation, has gone up. And I'm pretty honest, I've gone up, since I lived here in summer '99, I ran the numbers, and I've gone up 4.25% a year. Now, that's normal growth. And that accounts for going down in value from 2008 to 2012, and then going back up above where I was.
Wait, did it go down?
Huh?
Your property value did go down?
No, I'm just saying everybody's property value went down from 2006 to 2012. But taking all that into account, the ups and downs, it still averages out at 4.25% a year. I think we can all live with that. That's just starting comments. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, thank you, Sam. Thank you.
Yolanda Curry, people of Palmer Street, Cleveland, New Jersey. Happy New Year. I feel what everybody said. I feel for them. My prayers go to everybody. I believe, because I'm a Christian woman, I believe somewhere around the line, it's going to be a change for the better. Evie with my street. But I believe that it's going to be a really good change, because all this negativity that's going around and what we're seeing on TV and what's displaying in different cities and states, it's really sad because of the fact is that, like I once told Sharon when we was in the senior place, I said, we're a bed of flowers. And God put everybody as different colors and different shapes and sizes for a reason. It's not supposed to be ugliness on this earth, it's supposed to be love. I got a rainbow and a rose, and my rainbow on my chest stands people of color. Don't matter what color you are. If you're green, you're green. And the rose stands for love. So I say this is People for Love. That's what my rainbow stands for. I don't have one of those skeletons or nothing like that. I just got the basic rainbow rose. But I believe in my heart, I believe seriously in my heart that it really gonna change. I don't know what's making the world go see to where everybody's getting greedy for money, power. It's all about love and respect. And, you know, like they say in the Bible, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. And I love everybody. My family is like a United Nation. Everybody from whatever culture you're from, you're my family. And I do have Mexicans, Haitians, everybody. But the thing about it is about, we gotta all get along. We gotta look at each other in a different perspective and look at each other as we're here for one reason. And that's to hope and share and care about each other. Not to take away, not to push over, not to manipulate and all that. Just to have a decent life and enjoy your life. And look at people for who they are, not for the color of their skin or the attitude that they have. Everybody's here for their own purpose and reason. I don't know what God got us here for, but whatever it is, our number will be up. And we will see one day that maybe this world can get together and really be as one. That's all I got. Oh, one more thing. I counted all of y'all. So Sharon is 12. So everybody gets one.
She brought in a case of tea for
pure tea. So everybody, I counted you. So it's 12 of you guys. So now the cookies, I can't tell you to do that, but anyway, the drink is on me. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public care make a comment?
Seeing no, excuse me, seeing no public comment from the public, I move the public portion be closed.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson DeBenedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers? Schutzer?
Yes.
Chair, public comment section is closed. Item 13 are council reports and comments. Start off with Council President Friedman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, I want to thank everyone for coming out. We do hear your concerns, and we work every day to work for our residents. Whether our residents are white, black, Hispanic, polka dot, purple, green, everyone deserves to be treated with dignity. And I know everyone up on this dais works every day to achieve that goal. So we share your concerns, and we will continue to work to try and make sure our residents feel safe and secure to the best of our ability. So thank you. We hear your concerns. It's affecting all of us. The answers are not acceptable. It's not, right? No one likes the answers. And we will do the best we can to change what can be changed, but some answers are just, we all hate, and we will work, get you better answers. On one thing that we are gonna get better answers on, is code enforcement, so I'd like to first off congratulate Jalissa and Ken on their promotions. And I'd like to welcome, who is gonna be starting February 2nd, I believe it is, Michael Mulcahy, to the Code Enforcement Office. We are gonna have a serious focus on code enforcement this spring, and people are gonna see changes and improvements in the community, and they are gonna address the concerns of cars parked on the streets where they shouldn't be, front yards being used as parking lots. We're gonna address the concerns of our Hispanic residents who have concerns of some of their landlords that are taking advantage of them, and we're gonna make sure people are held accountable. So that's, like I said a few weeks ago, that's my goal. Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you. Councilmember Schutzer.
Yes, I'm not gonna say anything except, we have, excuse me, we have this lovely lady, Sephora, from Howell High School, who has joined us. And we have all signed an agenda, I don't know where it is, there for you to take back to your school if you can get any extra credit in social studies or anything. We always think about that. So here you are, when the meeting's over, you can pick this up. And thank you for your words, thank you for your maturity, and thank you for visiting us. I am not going to belabor this because we're already here a long time and it's cold. But I want to put a bee in your bonnet that, and by the way, we heard everything you said. We heard at a meeting this week that there have been many people laid off at the Atlantic Healthcare System, Central State, in the community outreach areas and offices. They are shutting down their community outreach program, and we would like very much for people to be aware of this, to voice your concerns about this, and to contact their board of directors, their CEO, etc. We will be discussing it among ourselves and also taking action. I'm starting my letters tomorrow about this. So that's all I have. Thank you for coming out. And if it's true that we're getting a terrible storm, be safe and warm. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember DiBenedetto.
Yes, thank you all for coming out. Congratulations to our Teacher of the Year. Gene, I told you don't paint your house. Your assessment's going to go up. Gene is my neighbor. I get to sit outside the house.
You can't assess me.
It's only me. We not only did we hear what you said, but we live what we hear. We do pay taxes in this town. My commercial property that I work in, live in, grew up in, my land is worth more than my building. And I get to talk to the main guy in the county for the tax, so it's bewildering to me of how this works, and I don't know the formula. It's crazy, I know. It just happened in Manasquan where Steve said they haven't been reassessed in years. Everybody with those beautiful houses in Manasquan on the beach, we're paying a third of the tax. This part of town was paying most of the tax. Now it comes due for the people at the beach to pay the tax. It's just crazy how it works, but we feel your pain, we live your pain. We do pay taxes, and you know, I've tried to appeal mine a couple times. So, thank you all for coming out. I've heard everything you said, young lady. Good luck to you in your future. Come back anytime you'd like. And Chief, thank you for your words also. Everybody have a good night.
Thank you. Councilmember Jordan.
Thank you. Again, I want to just say that we've heard everybody tonight with the assessments. Mine actually went up 2 years ago, 33%. Last year I think it was 12%. As for the other members of the community, Yemi, and everyone who made comments, it's difficult to watch what's going on right now in not just our community but America. And I will make a commitment that I will do anything I possibly can within the law in order to go out and make sure everyone in our community is safe. So thank you. Thank you for always keeping us informed. But just to reiterate what the chief said, and Yemi, I know you say this all the time, we have to make sure that we're not creating havoc within our community, that people have the correct information, they're out there, and that they're not going on these social media platforms. And I know we can't stop them, but we don't have to give it a voice and just keep going out there and just liking and sharing. What I've always found when this thing kind of comes up, I call the people in the community and I say, hey, talk to me, tell me what's going on, give me some direction. And then I'll call the chief, So we all have open communications, and I hope everybody will use them accordingly. And hopefully we can just get past this, and I don't know what to say. It's disheartening right now what's going on, but I'm committed to protecting everyone in our community. Just a couple things that are going on in town. Recreation has partnered with We Are the Future to send our kids to a basketball game at Monmouth University. The tickets are on sale. You can go on our website and purchase them. For anybody under the age of 17, it's free. For adults, I believe it's $15 a ticket. A lot of our kids don't get an opportunity to do this, so it would be great. Recreation will be providing transportation for that. And the game is on February 15th. A couple other things that's going on. Recreation, we're going to open up the registration for our summer camp on February 1. We have a limited amount of spaces for our kids, so please get in there. It'll all be online. It'll all be on the Borough website. You can register your kids then. It'll be a 6-week program starting right after the 4th of July. Let's see, what else do we have? Tickets. And recreation is still doing the Mahjong program every Tuesday. So we have Mahjong on Tuesday mornings at 11 and again at 6. Everyone is welcome. Beginners all the way up to people who play this, on a daily. So everybody's welcome, and it's right here in the Borough Hall in our own library space. Basketball center. And I think that is all I have. Oh, and I just wanted to remind everybody that our TNR program, we just renewed our contract with the county tonight for the SPCA. Our TNR program is still active. If you would like to get any information on any of that, the TNR is actually with the capture the cats and then release them back into the community. So if anybody wants to find out more information about that, you can go on our website and take a look at that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rogers.
Thank you. First I want to thank you for coming tonight. I know what you went through was very difficult with your employee, and I wanted you to be able to speak out what happened to you and to know that we hear you and we are here for you, for our business owners, for our residents. We are not discounting your fear. We understand it, because even though people have different perspectives, let's say, the fear is real, and we don't want to see people hurt, and we don't want to see families torn apart. So we hear you, and we will do whatever we can do in our power to assist you, to be there for you, to be a listening ear, to make sure you feel safe. We don't want fear in our community, and we'll have to do what we have to do to make sure our residents feel safe. The chief of police spoke, and he spoke to let you know that they're there for you. They are not there to hurt you. They're not there to accelerate any fear or anything like that. They're there to help you. And our officers are some of the best in Monmouth County. They get out there in the community. They talk to everyone. They're there to support you. So trust that if you have an issue, that they will be there to support you. But I do appreciate you coming out tonight. I do appreciate you speaking and expressing what has been on your mind for a long time, because I've talked to many of you, and I appreciate the fact that you came out tonight to share your thoughts. A couple of new things. I want to welcome the 2 new library hires that we have. It will help us keep the library open because we were a bit shorthanded for a while. We had to have some unexpected closures. So now that we're full staffed again, we'll be able to keep the library open on a regular schedule as these young ladies come in and get acclimated. I want to thank Sephora for coming out tonight, for reaching out to me. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you here. I hope you got something out of it, and I look forward to your participation on the participatory budgeting committee. I think you're gonna be an asset to them. So thank you for coming out tonight and participating. And I will make sure Ms. Dixon knows, so you can get some extra points or whatever. I had the honor of going to the Martin Luther King program at the Agape Church, Second Baptist, well, it used to be Second Baptist. The name is escaping me right now, but it was a beautiful program. The young people that spoke were just so powerful, and they always do an excellent job. So I thank them for the invitation, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to have gone and seen the program. And again, I wanted to congratulate our teacher, our New Jersey Teacher of the Year. She sounds like an amazing person, and I'm so glad that she came to Freehold Borough. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. First, I just want to say that we appreciate you all coming out. We appreciate your comments and concerns, both for the things that are happening to our residents in the borough, as well as issues that we're having with assessments and whatnot. We do take them to heart, and we are working our hardest to make sure that we're doing what's right and what's best for our community. Two quick items for business, and then I have something that I'd like to read. First is that the Historic Preservation Commission is working on historic district plaques that will be mounted on street signs to highlight those special areas in town. We have a design that we're working on, and hopefully we'll get to put that into production sometime this year. Where we are very proud of our historic areas, and we want to make sure that people who come to town know them as well. Second is that the Memorial Day Parade Committee, in celebration of our 250th anniversary of the United States, will be having the Orchestra of St. Peter's by the Sea, conducted by Father Alphonse Stevenson, back this year on Memorial Day, near Memorial Day weekend, Saturday, May 16th. 7 p.m., doors open at 6:30 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church. Tickets are $45 a person. Right now, you can get them from any of the Memorial Day Parade committee members, but we are working with Downtown Freehold to put on a payment portal where you can purchase the tickets online as well. We hope everyone will come out and support. The reason why we are having a meeting on Tuesday night this week is because yesterday was a day to honor and remember Dr. Martin Luther King. In his 1963 letters from Birmingham jail, Dr. King famously challenged the idea that anyone within the country could be considered an outsider. I'm cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. King's warning that whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly describes the loss of social capital, which refers to the value inherent in social networks and the shared norms, trust, and reciprocity that enables people to act together effectively to pursue shared objectives. While human capital is what you know, such as your individual skills, social capital is about who you know and the quality of those connections. We must not devalue the social capital of our community. If that happens, we will surely see civic withdrawal, a climate of fear which causes individuals to withdraw from public life, religious institutions, and community groups. This weakens the social bonds that make a community like ours vibrant and resilient. With all that's happening here in Freehold Borough and across our nation, I implore you to stand for what is just, right, and true. Stand for something. Stand for your neighbors. Stand for your friends. Stand for your family. Stand for something or you will fall for anything. We are further along in Pastor Martin Niemöller's prose, First They Came, Then You Think. Thank you, and good night.
Thank you. This deals to me. As everyone said, we've heard all of you tonight. There's a lot of great discussion tonight. This tax assessment program, I've seen both sides of this, and we're in the middle of trying to figure out what's gonna work best. You know, I know the towns that are involved in this lawsuit. As Councilman Benedetto mentioned, one town hasn't been assessed in a long time. They're one of the ones that are not in this program, you know, and that's the flip side of this. The ADP is supposed to be annual assessments closer to real market value. Then you have, on the other hand, towns that aren't being reassessed, you know, what's your real values? And then Jeff's point was spot on. You know, when you have income producing properties compared to owner occupied properties, it's apples and oranges. You know, so there's a lot that needs to be worked out, you know, and we will be working with the assessor and our attorney and our administrator to try to get it and figure this whole thing out. Congrats to Jillian Ober, New Jersey Teacher of the Year. I mean, that's a tremendous honor to be the best teacher in the state, you know, and she well deserved. I mean, you listen to her resume, it was tremendous, you know, all she's put into it, and she decided that she wanted to work here. It's just an asset to us. Amy and everyone, we understand exactly what you're saying. I was in Newark this morning at the governor's inauguration, and I am extremely hopeful that we're going to fight as a state as far as this stuff going on. And to paraphrase a little bit, we will not bow to a king in our current situation, a wannabe king. You know, so whatever he is trying to put, we're a targeted state, as you know, and there's targeted areas within the state. And we will continue to work with our police department, the prosecutor's office, our state legislators, and work together on this problem. There's no way, we work hard at exactly those three things that you mentioned: safety, stability, and trust. Whether it's for residents, business owners, or visitors. We work hard up here amongst all of us to make sure that those three things are in place at all times. And that means all residents, anybody that lives here. And we got to make sure that everybody is protected. And I'm encouraged listening to our 57th governor this morning and how they're going to attack this. You know, and with her military background and training, I'm confident that she's going to be spot on this, and she's going to have the backing of the people of the state also. So we hear you. The chief knows. You know that our police department, as Councilwoman Rogers said, is well involved with the community and will continue to be. So, but we got to work on it together. And as the chief mentioned, we can't let fear spread wildly. You know, this social media is just crazy. I mean, it's just, you know, one little thing and it's a telephone tag situation. By the time you get to that 10th person, they're the ones that posted it, and the thing is just totally blown out of proportion. So we really, really got to work together as a community to attack this, because nobody should live in fear. Absolutely none. You know, and then unfortunately, it's happening throughout the country. We need to be concerned about Free-Hill Borough, and we will. So, really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. You know, it's a cold night, but this is a very, very important. You know, you brave the cold to come out to voice your concerns, and we really appreciate it, and we're here to work with you. Okay?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
There being no further business, I'd like to entertain
So
a motion
moved.
to adjourn. I didn't get it. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, good night. Thank you. We are.